Hello, everyone. So we are group number 7, and for our project, we made the language detector. My name is Santiago Villarreal.
I'm Isabella Stenger.
Hi, Nevo here.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Lafever.
So our goal is to create a language transcriber that would allow our user to scan the typed word and translate it into another language. The program successfully reads and recognizes characters as well as translating them into 45 languages. MATLAB was used for its easy interface with OCR to read, recognize, and translate these characters. Many people struggle with reading different languages, so this application would be helpful for people trying to learn a new language, as well as those traveling to another country.
Now, let me go to the video. All right, so here we're gonna upload an image. And then we're gonna select the language that we wanna translate it to. And then after pressing translate, we're gonna select the words that we want to translate. And then on the left side, it'll show the translated text. Now I'm just gonna try it with a few different images. So this would be a stop sign that you would see in France. Here we're gonna translate the text. And then we're just gonna do one more picture. If you were in Italy, this would be something you would see around the tourist site. If you didn't know what it says, you'd be able to translate it. All right, now let me do the live demo. Here I'm just gonna load an image. And this would be an airport sign. And here we have it set up a little bit different from what we saw in the video. Here I'm showing the filtered image that we have. It has it's in grayscale, and we have a sharpened image. Here I'm going to select the text. And come on. There we go. Translated words over here. And I did want to show translation wasn't always very accurate. This is a stop sign in Spanish. But it's just, it needs more context to translate it to a actual stop instead of saying hi. It's technically correct, but it's not the best translation. All right, now let me go to the presentation. All right, so for the interface, we designed this application using the MATLAB application designer. So the first step, as we saw in the video, is to load an image, and that'll open the file browser. And it's set up to accept a few different file types like JPEG, PNG, TIF, but more can be added if we needed to. Then the user selects the language that they want to translate to on the right side. And we can select from up to 45 languages. And then we press translate, and that'll open up the other window where you select the text that you want to translate. And then here we display the original picture with the overlay of the translated text. And then down here, it'll display what language was detected. So we used the Google Translation API to translate the text and to detect the source language. The API call that we set up sends the language that you want to translate to, as well as the text to be translated. Then the API returns the language that it detected, as well as the translated text. And then here's a snippet of the code for the Google Translate API. It just takes in the target language and the text to be translated. And then this web read command executes this URL. And then we just need to decode the data that we get back from the API.
So the function that we used for to read the text was the optical character recognition, or OCR, which basically like allow computer to process like images, or like live images, or not live images, but like rather like detect what kind of word it is in image, and then like telling the what word is it to the user. So inside the code, we like upload our picture, and then within that code, we have to like write a code that basically say that we want to just only reading this certain region of text. And then, well, we did like filter in the background, and then the result would be showing the word of the original image. Next slide. And we also like I said before, we try like different filter. We try with grayscale, and then we also try with the sharpening. It worked really well, but for the edges, it worked really well too, but in certain type of like font size, because if the font size is too small, then the letter wouldn't be able to, like the OCR wouldn't able to know what it's reading. Next slide. And here's the result that we saw before for our live demo. As I said before, we just loading the images and select the region we want to translate. And it will show the word generation word in the box, in the yellow box above it. Okay, next slide. So there's a few challenges when we were trying to write a code, or like try to like read the text letter. The first one was like, because we are using like the remote desktop at our house, so that's why like we couldn't able to like connect our webcam, because like it was a remote desktop, and the administration didn't able to like allow us to connect our webcam. Another thing is that like why we choose to use images instead of like live video was just because the MATLAB app builder wasn't able to like allow us to upload video. And then we tried to use a code where it's just like reading a video instead, but like automatically it's gonna transfer into a picture. So we just decided to do picture instead. And one more problem was that we like, it doesn't always work with our filter. It had to be worked with like certain filter. Like if you put like Gaussian filter and then to blur out the images, it won't able to read the word. Or like if you add noise in the picture, it won't able to read the word too. So, and another like problem is the word, the picture have to be like in front of you, because if we were like diagonally like across it, like because you're gonna select the region, it wouldn't able to like read it because it's not like in the perfect line, and then the OCR just get confused and wouldn't able to give it the result that we want. And one more thing, because like due to limited time, we couldn't have the OCR to translate like handwritten images. If we have more time, then we'll probably use the machine learning to basically ask the tell computer to read the handwritten images.
So we ran into some issues with Google Translate as well. So some of the languages that were supported by Google Translate weren't supported by MATLAB. For instance, a lot of the Asian languages we couldn't get it to translate to because of the symbols. It wasn't able to be read in MATLAB. And then also some of the languages, as we saw, translated incorrectly because it would select a different language and have a different word output. Next slide. All right, so some improvements. We originally wanted it to have a live video translation, but as Nee said, we couldn't do that because we can't use our webcam with the remote desktop. We also wanted to do handwritten words, but we weren't able to get it to detect the handwritten words. If we would have had more time, we probably could have figured out a way to do it. We also wanted to add more languages. Like I said, the Asian languages, there was probably some sort of code out there that we could use to get it to detect that. And then we also would use a more friendly user interface. All right, so some of the most important things we took out of this was a better understanding of the OCR algorithm in MATLAB and how it reads the words on a picture, and then better understanding of how the data is processed from an image, and we got to learn about the Google Translation API. And then that's the end of our presentation, so we can open it up to questions now.
Great job, Group 7. Nice presentation and demo. All right, so let's open it up for questions.
I have a question again. It's actually a question I've had for all the groups. I believe everyone worked from home on this. Is that true? You didn't really gather as groups?
Just from home, yeah.
Okay, so how did you guys break up a project like this between the different team members kind of working a little bit independently?
So for the most part, we're just working on Zoom. We would all get together and then bounce our ideas around and code it like that.
So did you guys code separately and bring the code back together?
We kind of did a little bit, because Santiago had to take care of the translation, and I had to take care how to read the interface, and then we kind of try to okay, how to incorporate our code together once we get into the meeting.
So I have to say that you guys had this extra pressure of working remotely in your home and still coming together as a group and working together as a group. It's not easy. And so kudos to everyone who has worked on this project, that you were able to work together and pull it off in the very short time. So it's not trivial. So don't underestimate this. We're all struggling how to work together remotely, sitting in our own homes.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question. In the real world, exactly, it's been a difficult thing these last months, just working to keep it together with your team. So I'm very impressed with what you guys could do on these projects as well.
Absolutely.
Dr. Mirza, I have just
Yes,
some
sir.
observations. I have 3 observations, and the first one is, this is the second presentation that I was able to observe, and I'm really impressed with the decision making, and committing to a decision by these students in the time frame that they had to work with. I think this has been said over and over again. The timing is really short and very critical for these students. So kudos to them for that. The other observation, I'm not from an engineering background, so I learned quite a few things, and one of the things that seemed to jump out at me, at least today, is that machine learning, seems to be the solution to a lot of the the problems that the students faced. So I think you expounded on that earlier, but I think machine learning would help a lot of these students get to the next level with their projects. And then the last observation is just this last presentation was really interesting and fun to watch. And I think it's so important to have a clear and concise, presentation to get your idea and your vision across, to an audience. So I just would implore you guys to, to look at your presentations and make sure that your presentation is clear and fun and to the point. And but great job to all of you.
Thank you, Sam. This was excellent observations, and I fully agree with this, that, the way you present your presentation, I have to say, this is one of the best set of slides.
Yeah.
So whoever worked on slides, you did a great job visually. So it's a big thing. When you're presenting, how you present it is as important as what you're presenting.
That is very, very true.
And so I do have a question. When you were detecting text in the video and images, well, you guys use images. You can very well do it in videos also. It's just a sequence of frames, right? So could you have detected it in the entire frame instead of putting a box? Would it have worked?
We tried that, but usually when the region of interest was a lot bigger, we get a lot of false positives.
Yeah, it wouldn't read too much. It would just get confused and say, "What's this?"
Yes. So I was thinking, because I mean, again, I'm thinking you guys are doing stuff which can be very practical. And you can make it an app even for phones and stuff. That if you're reading different texts, you could place the translation wherever you read the text and just see where you're getting some most coherent text, and that's the one you select to display. So you can move the image around and just translate it all over the place without selecting this. But again, this is something, if you had time, I'm sure you would be able to do it. The other thing was the machine learning part. Again, it is really powerful to use machine learning, but with a caveat there that you have to give it the right information for it to process. And here, I think your comment about handwritten text is best suited for machine learning because there is so much variability, and you have to have a training database. So unless you have that available, which you can use for your machine learning algorithms, then you're good to go. Otherwise, if you have to create it on your own, that's a big challenge itself there. But good job. More questions, please, for the group. Anybody, did you guys mention how you detected the language itself? Which language is it? What method did you use to detect that?
Yeah, so that was the Google Translation API. When we send in the text, it automatically detects what language it is, and it sends it back to us.
Okay. All right. Any last questions for this group? And if not, you guys did a great job. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.